Hey everybody, it's Ingenious. Gonna go ahead and play Fallout as an evil. I don't know where those red buttons came from. It's kind of weird. Okay. Now, Fallout is set in the future, post-apocalyptic, as you saw from the intro. And our character has grown up inside of a vault. The reason that this character's been chosen for the quest is because they hope the Wasteland will shape him up. He's an evil guy. He doesn't like to mess around. Now, Fallout uses the special for statistics, which is a great acronym. S for strength, P for perception, E for endurance, C for charisma, I for intelligence, A for agility, and L for luck. I went the way I did with these stats for a few reasons. One, stats are only increased a couple ways in game. One is that there's a certain encounter, like luck and charisma, but the other five, strength, perception, endurance, intelligence, and agility, are only increased through drugs, or, which is temporary, or in the Brotherhood of Steel, where you can actually permanently increase them by 1 point each. That is why I went with 9s for intelligence and agility. Intelligence, because it gives you skill points, and skill points are really helpful in the game. And then agility, a 10 agility, you're a beast. I went with 6 strength because you can increase by 1 with the medical procedure, and 3 more by the power armor, so that puts it at 10, your maximum. You're not able to go beyond that. Perception, I went with 5 because it's average. I was debating where to put everything, and I think my character, albeit he's evil, is kind of charismatic, so that's why I went with a 7. And then 3 for endurance. Perception is great for like sharpshooters and stuff, and range combat distance modifiers. So I may actually, don't know if I should tweak that at all, considering I'm going to be using long range stuff, but I'm going to have high enough skills that I'm going to offset it. It's not going to be a big issue. Now, you may look at 3 endurance and go, what? That's going to really hurt you on damage resistance and radiation resistance and all that stuff, as well as hit points. And yes, you're right. You're going to get less hit points in the game. But with my armor, with my the power armor, I should be okay. I usually can make do. Of course, a little lucky critical hit, even with the highest endurance, can take you out. You know, when you take 172 damage from one hit, you can't survive that. I don't care what you're doing. You get to choose 2 traits from the traits down here. Some of these are really good, some are really bad, like Jinxed. Oh, hey, yeah, more critical failures for the enemy. That's great, but also it happens to you, so that really sucks. You know, accidentally shooting yourself in the arm, breaking an arm, that really does hinder things. Never take skilled, in my opinion, because it actually reduces the number of traits you get later on, albeit it helps with skills, and you get enough skill points as long as you don't drop your intelligence. If you have your intelligence in the tank, you know, maybe you can do something with that then. Gifted is honestly the best one, in my opinion at least. It increases 1 point in each of your special stats at the expense of skills. I am also playing on hard, so my skill points are lower than would be expected. Now, I'm trying to remember why I chose Bloody Mess. I just think because I'm using small guns, I want to aim, so I don't want fast shot. Fast shot is good if you don't want to aim. Like if you're using melee weapons, that actually is pretty good. But honestly, aiming is where it's at. Heavy-handed, kamikaze finesse, one-hander, which is decent, but no. Small frame. This is a good one in that it does increase your agility, but it does decrease your carry weight, which really does hurt. But if another point in agility, then I can obviously increase something else. Let's see. And I'm going to be playing with a team. I'm not going to be solo. So actually, I'm thinking of taking small frame for this one. Let's drop that and increase perception. That'll help a little bit more. Now, some of this may be different than other playthroughs you've seen because I actually applied the FIXT patch, which has a lot of minor fixes to the game that essentially bring the game to where it should have been. Also changed some of the descriptions. You'll see little changes here and there, which should be awesome to see. I chose small guns because I'm actually going to try to beat the game with the BB gun. Not the basic BB gun, because that would be suicidal. There is a special BB gun that is found in a random encounter. Whether I get that encounter or when I get the encounter is completely random, so I may be playing with shotguns or pistols or a sniper rifle for quite a while. And I can manage with a sniper rifle. I hope. We'll see. Big guns, you know, this is fun if you like using flamethrowers close range, but the miniguns, oh, you can tear stuff up. It is beautiful to just tear a super mutant up with a big gun. And then energy weapons, these are pretty much the best weapons in the game for the most part. The plasma rifle, when you get that turned into a turbo plasma rifle, you have to do a little quest for it, but if you do that, it is, yeah, a great weapon. Unarmed, you can beat the game with unarmed or melee weapons. There's a super sledgehammer, which costs, with a little boost, you can get down to 1 action point, and you can do tons of damage. But it is tough, especially against super mutants when they all have like miniguns and flamethrowers and rocket launchers. It becomes a little challenging, but you can do it, especially with the team. Throwing, I don't know if you can beat the game with throwing weapons. I honestly don't know if that can be done. Just throwing weapons, that is. First aid, I use stim packs for heals. And doctor, if you get a crippled limb, you can use that skill, but you have to have a doctor's kit, and there's not too many in the game. Sneak, pretty standard. Lockpicks, there are tons of lockpicks in the game, so that's a great skill to have. What you see, these 3 is they're tagged, and when you get levels, you get points to allocate, and it's double the normal points, which is great. Stealing can be very useful if you want to steal from a lot of people. Personally, I don't. Even though my character is technically going to be evil, I'm just going to go with speech, which makes it so others believe his lies more easily. And then science and repair have a lot of spots where they're useful, but they are not vital to beating the game. So they're just helpful. Traps, I honestly don't use traps at all. I mean, you can use it for like dynamite, setting dynamite and stuff, but bartering is useful, but honestly, you can make do with never raising barter, just because you get so much stuff in the game that you are able to sell. Yeah, it costs more, but you can make do. Gambling's pretty cool in that you really don't need to tag it. With a gambling skill of about 35% and a high luck of 8 or so, you can actually make positive gains when you're gambling. I've made, I think it's about 150,000 caps in about 30 to 45 minutes, I think it was. Well, of course, I was holding down the button, so it's going really fast, but yeah, it's really not that bad. So I honestly don't think you ever need a tag gambling. Outdoorsman, there's books and stuff for that, so you really don't need to tag that one. But it is helpful for getting through the Wasteland. And as I said, my character is evil. The reason he was chosen to do what's going to be in the game is because the Overseer hopes that the Wasteland will set him straight, as could be said. But that will be the Overseer's downfall. Letting this person go out onto the Wastelands and become the man he's going to become. It's going to be a bloodbath, to say the least. Without further ado, let's go ahead and go. And hopefully I do this right.
Thank you for watching. I'd appreciate before you go if you could take a moment of your time to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Thank you very much. This is Ingenious, signing off.